Dear student, due to unavoidable circumstances this year, we have to take online lectures. All of you must be ready for this online lecture series. Myself, I am going to teach physics. In physics, we are going to learn first chapter, that is rotational dynamics. In this lecture series, we are going to learn first chapter, that is rotational dynamics, in which the circular motion, which is important. There are various types of motions, such as first, translational motion. Second, circular motion. Third, rotational motion. Fourth, rolling motion. Apart from this, there are various types of motion like vibrational motion, spinning motion, etc. Here in the chapter, particularly, we are going to focus on circular motion and rotational motion. So let us proceed to learn the first motion, that is circular motion. What is circular motion? The motion of a particle along the circumference of the circle with certain speed. It is called as circular motion. In our day-to-day life, we are going to learn many of the examples for the circular motion. For example, the rotation of the blades of the fan, the rotation of hands of the clock, Earth is revolving around the sun, Moon is revolving around the Earth, electrons are revolving around the nucleus. Now here, all these objects, they are performing circular motion. This motion, it is performed along a circumference of the circle with constant radius, and that's why it is called a circular motion. Mind well, many of the motions, many times we are going to perform which are useful for us. The circular motion, it has also a greatest applications for us, and that's why I would like to explain the circular motion with the help of diagram. Now here, suppose that a particle is performing its motion along the circumference of the circle with constant radius r. Now, when it performs the circular motion, that time it has a tendency to move along a tangent to the circumference of the circle. It is a linear velocity v. Now, this object, it is moving with angular velocity omega with radius r. Next, around this circle, around this fixed point C, where C is the center of this circle. See here, when this particle is performing circular motion, that time there are certain characteristics, or we can say that there are certain characteristics of circular motion. This circular motion, it is a accelerated motion, because in this always the magnitude of velocity is going to change. At every instant, the magnitude of this velocity v, it is going to change. For example, if you consider over here, this point, it is moving. Suppose this is point A, it is moving up to point B. Then we can have a linear velocity for this position which is tangent. Now see here, even though this velocity is constant, its direction it is going to change, and that's why it is called as a accelerated motion. Next, this motion, it is a periodic motion. First point, it is an accelerated motion. Second point, this motion, it is a periodic motion. What is periodic motion? The motion which is repeated in equal interval of time, that is called as a periodic motion. And mostly in a circular motion, the time taken by the particle to complete one revolution, it is constant. And that's why it is a periodic motion. Next, we have to learn the kinematics of the circular motion. Here this word itself that indicates the object is in motion. Whenever the objects are in motion, that time they possess maximum kinetic energy, their potential energy is less. And the equations which are related with the objects in relation with motion, that are known as kinematical equation. Here we have said that the particle is performing circular motion. Or we have said that the particle is performing motion along the circumference of the circle, and that's why there are certain equations which are related to the motion, that is circular motion, that are known as kinematics of circular motion. Next, here this radius vector in some time delta t, it moves through certain distance delta s. That is, when this particle is moving along the circumference of the circle from position A to position B, it covers an arc delta s in time delta t. During this radius vector, it is going to trace certain angle at the center, and this angle it is called as a angular displacement. And this is the first quantity which we have to explain. What is theta? Theta is angular displacement, and in 11th standard we have learned angular displacement theta equal to delta s upon vector r. Delta s upon vector r. Now here this vector r, it is in denominator, therefore we have to multiply it by a unit vector which is along the radius vector. So what is angular displacement? Actually we have learned this definition in 11th standard. What is that? The angle traced by radius vector at the center when a particle is performing angular displacement. When particle is performing circular motion along the circumference of the circle, it is called as an angular displacement. Next, the SI unit for this, it is radian. It is just denoted by rad. Next, where this particle it is performing angular displacement, the rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time, it is called as angular velocity. This angular velocity, it is again a vector quantity. This angular displacement, it is a vector quantity. Angular velocity, it is a vector quantity which is d theta by dt. This also we write ds upon r. Here we got angular velocity omega equal to d theta upon dt. What is it? It is nothing but the rate of change of angular displacement with respect to time. And SI unit, it is radian per second. Let me explain something about angular displacement. For angular displacement, the dimension is m0, l0, t0. It means angular displacement, it is a dimensionless quantity. Angular velocity, it has unit radian per second, and therefore the SI unit for angular velocity, it is m0, l0, t minus 1. Next physical quantity, which is next is angular acceleration. This angular acceleration can be defined as the rate of change of angular velocity with respect to time. When any object that is performing circular motion along the circumference of the circle, it has angular displacement, it has angular velocity, it has angular acceleration. This angular acceleration, it has SI unit as a radian per second square, and therefore its dimension is dimension of this alpha, that is angular acceleration, it is m0 l0 t minus 2. Just here, the angular displacement, angular velocity, angular acceleration, all these are the vector quantities. The direction it is given by right hand rule. What is the right hand thumb rule? In 11th standard we have studied it. For example, hold up an object in a right hand such a way that these fingers are curled around this rotating body and thumb is outstretched. The curved finger that gives the sense of rotation of the body, and the outstretched thumb gives the direction of this vector, that is angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration. Here it is to be noted that all these vector quantities, they are having same direction. For example, if I held up, this is the axis of rotation. This axis of rotation, it is passing through the center of the circle and perpendicular to its plane. If I hold up the right hand such a way that the fingers are curled and thumb is outstretched. Here, the curved finger that gives the sense of rotation of the body and the outstretched thumb gives the direction of the vector. It means these vectors, they are along the axis of rotation. They are perpendicular to the plane of the figure, and this can be represented like this. Here, suppose an object is revolving in this direction, then its angular displacement vector theta, angular velocity omega and angular acceleration, they are directed along the axis of rotation. Depending upon the sense of rotation, these vectors, they changes their direction. For example, if the direction of rotation it is changed, in this case it is in anti-clockwise direction. If this body or object it is revolving or rotating in a clockwise direction, then the direction of these vectors will be in downward direction, that is theta, omega and alpha. In this case, the object it is rotating in clockwise direction. So depending upon this, there is a direction of vector. Depending upon the sense of rotation of the object, the direction of the vector is going to change. Next, in translational motion, we have learned linear displacement. This linear displacement, it is suppose S or X. There is some significance to denote this linear displacement by X, Y or S. When the object is moving along a linear direction along the x-axis, then the displacement it is denoted by X. When the object is moving exactly in a vertical direction, that is along y-axis, the displacement it is denoted by Y. But again, the object it is not moving either along x-axis or y-axis, the displacement of the object it is denoted by S. And here, as the particle is moving along the circumference of the circle, that displacement it is not maintained either along x-axis or y-axis, and that's why here linear displacement we are denoting it by S. Next, linear velocity. What is linear velocity? Linear velocity V equal to ds by dt, that is rate of change of linear displacement with respect to time. Linear acceleration. This linear acceleration, it is rate of change of linear velocity with respect to time. Now in this case also, these objects they are having the same direction. But here, one thing let me tell you, that is when the particle is performing linear motion, that time there is a linear velocity, linear displacement, linear velocity, linear acceleration. In this circular motion, we are going to consider a case that the particle is performing circular motion along the circumference of the circle, and therefore they are performing circular motion. This is the translational motion. This is about the rotational motion. These equations they are analogous to each other. It means that in translational motion, the linear displacement it is analogous to the angular displacement. In translational motion, the linear velocity is analogous to the angular velocity in circular motion. In translational motion, linear acceleration is analogous to the angular acceleration. It means what the role it is played by linear displacement, linear velocity, linear acceleration in a translational motion, the same role it is performed by the angular displacement, angular velocity and angular acceleration in circular motion. This is to be noted. There is one special chapter, there is one special table which is given in the book where the translational quantities they are analogous to the quantities which are in a circular motion. Not only this, see here, when the particle is performing circular motion in this, we have denoted this V. It means at every instant the particle has a velocity. This velocity is a tangential to the circumference of the circle, and that's why it is called as the tangential velocity. Later on we are going to learn the magnitude of this, that is linear velocity it is equal to omega into r. That is linear speed equal to angular speed into radius. So this is all about the circular motion. With this we are going to proceed to learn uniform circular motion. The next article we are going to learn uniform circular motion. Circular motion, the motion of a particle along the circumference of the circle. In this, the linear speed it is going to change. Also, the angular speed it is going to change. It may change or do not change. It is a circular motion. But If the particle is performing uniform circular motion with constant angular speed, then it is called as a uniform circular motion. And therefore, we can define the uniform circular motion like this: the motion of a particle along the circumference of the circle with constant angular speed, it is called as a uniform circular motion. It is abbreviated as UCM. UCM stands for uniform circular motion. Next, when a particle is performing uniform circular motion, that time this motion, it is performed under the action of centripetal force, or we can say that any circular motion that takes place under the action of centripetal force. The centripetal force, it is opposite to the radius vector, and therefore we have to proceed for next type of motion, that is non-uniform motion. We can classify these motions into two, that is uniform circular motion and another is non-uniform motion. This non-uniform motion, it is also called as a accelerated motion because it is performed under the action of centripetal acceleration. Next, in uniform circular motion, the angular velocity remains constant. Mind well, here the angular displacement theta and the angular velocity omega and angular acceleration alpha. If this angular acceleration, it remains constant. Now we have obtained this angular acceleration from this angular velocity with the relation alpha equal to d omega by dt. It means when angular velocity is going to change, we get angular acceleration, or when the angular displacement is going to change, when we get angular velocity. If this alpha, it is constant, then there is no change in angular velocity. There is no change in angular velocity, or change in angular velocity, it is equal to 0. Or if this angular velocity or angular displacement, they are going to change constantly, then angular acceleration, that becomes 0. Next, mind well, here the concept of centripetal force we are going to learn later on. So we are going to learn the concept of radial acceleration or centripetal acceleration. What is the centripetal acceleration? The acceleration which is directed along the radius but opposite to the radius vector, it is called as a centripetal acceleration. In other words, the acceleration which is directed towards the center of the circle performing circular motion, it is called as centripetal acceleration. The centripetal acceleration, it is given by AR equal to minus R omega square or minus omega square R. Next, in other words, in terms of linear velocity, this radial or centripetal acceleration that can be expressed minus v square by r. Now here, this negative sign indicates that this acceleration, it is directed towards the center of the circle. in non-uniform circular motion, this linear velocity it either increases or decreases as far as the angular velocity increases or decreases. For example, if we switch on the fan, then suddenly the fan do not attain the maximum speed. The speed of the fan that increases slowly. It increases. In this case, there is a change in linear velocity. The change in linear velocity, that is rate of change of linear velocity, it is in the direction of this velocity. That is linear acceleration. It is along this velocity vector. Now this velocity vector, it is a tangent to the circumference of the circle. Therefore, it is called as a tangential velocity, and that's why the acceleration which is in the direction of this velocity, that is also called as a tangential acceleration. Next, if we switch off the fan, what happens? The motion of the fan that decreases slowly according to the time, and that's why there is a decrease in linear velocity. Here, the velocity vector it is going to decrease, but the acceleration it also decreases, and therefore this tangential acceleration it is according to the increase or decrease in velocity, as it is tangent to the circumference of the circle. That's why it is called as a tangential acceleration, and hence this acceleration A equal to square root of AR square plus AT square. The magnitude of this acceleration or magnitude of this resultant acceleration, that is given by square root of AR square plus AT square. With this, we are going to stop here. Tomorrow we are going to learn some more things, that is centripetal force and centrifugal force. Have a nice day to all.